What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite pond, the Coy Pond, episode 128. As you guys know, you can find us here on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon Music, and don't forget to leave a question on SpeakPipe. And sadly, if you're just now hearing this, you missed your opportunity to ask us for the draft, because surprise, baby, this episode is coming out Wednesday! Yeah! As you guys would probably expect, we are doing Tuesday night. We thought, why not give you guys an extra day to look at what we thought? Appreciate all the love on the last video. Because of that, we were like, you know what? We have some new loyal subscribers, hopefully, for this episode. And in the past, the episode for us comes out Thursdays typically. We made an exception this week, given that would give you 8 hours at work to prepare before the draft actually happens. So why not bring it out on Wednesday, right?
Yeah, we're so excited. I mean, you know, the NFL occasionally switches up, like when they release the schedule, that's coming up here, and they give us a surprise. So the Coy Pond decided to give a surprise here.
Exactly. We're surprising everybody. A Wednesday episode. This'll, if anything, don't expect this going forward, but it happens. And, you know, just so we're all clear, it is Tuesday night, 8 p.m. As of this moment, we'll be unaware of any new news, because quite honestly, there still could be something that happens. I don't think it'd be crazy to say that in the NFL.
No.
And so we're working with what we got.
Yep.
Mr. Browns fan, I'm going to try and address the team a little bit better. You should like this mock draft a lot better.
Yes.
Apologies for the last one. That was, I would say, our fun mock draft.
It was fun, and I would say I could have been a little clearer about my thought of the Cowboys trading with the Browns at that
Yes.
pick. So that Mr. Browns,
Yes.
that is the reason why Sonny Styles was my pick at that time. So, but I didn't really explain that well.
And you know what? Hey, we got to take it on the chin where we deserve it. I think the comment was fair.
It was
I'm
fair.
not trying to be a jerk about it. Just thought we
Nope.
addressed it at the top of the
That's right.
show. Why not?
Yeah.
And given that, like and subscribe if you like the video. Kevin's given us his final mock draft of this for the 2026 2026 draft. And you know what? It's overall, I will say the three things I'm looking forward to them. I'm hoping. I don't think they happen. I'm hoping for it the most. I would love a complete 180 from the Raiders, and somehow they trade the first overall pick.
Wouldn't that blow it up?
That would be amazing, because then everyone's mock drafts are immediately wrong, pretty much, given the position. I think someone trades within the top three picks technically, to get Jeremiah Love before the Titans.
Yep.
And what I would love more than anything... I didn't realize I did that.
He's good.
I didn't realize I did that. Maybe we are getting better at this whole thing.
He's really good at this.
The Chargers to just get a good pick.
Yeah.
I think at the end. But
yeah, they will.
I'm rooting for chaos. I'm not going to lie. This is a very interesting draft in the sense that, like, plenty of years before it, after the first two picks, after the first pick, the uncertainty shoots through the roof. People have positions graded lower, higher, but team needs fill those spots.
Yeah.
And like all the time, it takes one team to reach, one team to miss on what we all thought they should have done, and will evidently be proven what they should have done 5 years down the road, and they'll do something else. Someone will be new, someone will be trying to make a point, someone will try and put their mark on their franchise immediately and miss.
No, I think you're right. I think many people who have talked about, you know, we go into every draft year, these are experts that are saying, hey, we're going to get trades, we're going to get this, we're going to get that, and we never really do.
No.
But this year, the talent is so level. It's so, I mean, yes, the first round talent is better than the second and third and all that, but the gap that you're used to between that is probably smaller than it typically is.
Right. That slope that you would see, I guess, from this way for the camera is way more of a level than anything else.
It's almost like, in a way, the Jimmy Johnson value of each pick, you know, the trade chart, doesn't quite apply as strongly as it typically does.
Yeah.
Because the talent's not separated as much as normal.
It's not a complete drop after the first round, and not to mention the fact that I think not even a week ago we heard from a couple experts, I can't remember names, so I'm sorry, but you heard, there's going to be 8 trades in this draft where teams move back. Well, if everyone wants to move back, they come around full circle and go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
If everyone's trying to get more picks, then no one's going to want to trade to get a higher pick, unless you're one of these select teams that could possibly use it effectively, which, of course, there are, but instead of 8, we might be getting 2.
Right.
And the first one's going to happen in the top 10, and the second one's going to be the last 32, or, you know, something of that nature where it's not quite as exciting, or you get, was it Bills-Patriots last year where they, like, flipped the 31st and 32nd pick, and a second round and a third round, or something where it's not like a splash in the water. Now, I say
Right.
that, and I'll come out later that it was two of the best players on both teams or something, but,
Yeah.
it's not as flashy as, the not Trevor Lawrence, the Travis Hunter
right.
Browns deal and all that sort of thing. So
yeah, that was a pretty fun one last year.
And that's kind of what
got
I'm
us right
hoping
out of
for.
the gate, right?
Yeah, give me something in the top 5.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the Chargers to do well. He's rooting for the Cowboys to draft well. But at the end of the day, it's a show, and if you're going to make a spectacle out of it, please, for the love of God, let there be something crazy happen.
Yeah, why not?
Why not throw it off? It always happens. It's just a matter of predicting when and where.
That's right.
That being said, should we just go ahead and drop right into it?
Away we go.
All right. Well, first
number
overall,
one.
Raiders. I think that's, unless something absolutely insane happens, I don't think there's anybody anywhere guessing anything else.
Yeah, since Mike Ditka's no longer in the NFL to trade all his picks for Ricky Williams, I just don't think that kind of trade is ever going to happen again.
It doesn't feel like it again, I'm hoping. But,
So,
that is what it is. Fernando Mendoza to the Raiders, first overall.
Yep. Here it gets interesting, right?
Here's where we get a little...
And that's not typical. Usually we're 4 or 5 picks down, and you got
a
you
certainty.
can count on some certainty of those.
And right out of the gate, we're 50-50 on this one. I
don't know shit.
Jets picking second, go with David Bailey.
Yeah.
Is that the one you're going on?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make
this
sure.
is it.
I wasn't trying to steal your thunder.
Yep. No, you're fine. And we've talked about Arvell Reese. Everyone's talked about Arvell Reese. The rumor, Pete Schrager, is that the Jets want somebody who can step in, plug and play. And the take on Arvell Reese is the ceiling is higher,
right,
but not there right now. And so the belief is that the Jets want someone that can plug and play right now to put pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
That's why we're saying David Bailey here.
Yeah, no, I agree. And what makes this even weirder now is the Jets canceled their meeting with David Bailey within the last few days. I can't remember what day they had it, but they canceled it.
Yeah.
And, I mean...
What does that mean?
Well, yeah, what's even more funny is, okay, it's the Jets. I would expect them to do something silly like that. And, for everyone that would say, don't dog the Jets, they're here all the time. Again, it's like the ownership last year when, who is it, the grandson was in the locker room doing some dumb shit?
Yeah, whatever the general manager or the owner is.
Yeah, his grandson, it's crazy. And again, maybe this is something where, like, we're picking you 2 overall. We know the Raiders are picking 1. We don't need to see you, but wouldn't you want more FaceTime?
Yep.
With anybody and everybody, because you never know what the future holds.
And who's desperate in here? I mean, I've even heard the Cowboys, in the last couple of days coming up to get Arvell Reese. They want the high ceiling guy.
Right.
The Jets, where are they in the whole, scheme of things? They need a lot of good players, probably.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that, okay, maybe if they canceled it, does that mean they want Arvell Reese now?
Yeah.
Or did they already sell the pick and it won't get announced until tomorrow?
That's right.
Given this shit leaks pretty often, but then you never know what's real and what's not.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a tough read.
Yeah. I mean, on the surface, it would seem that's not good for Bailey at 2. But who knows?
Yeah, but if they used that meeting to go interview someone else, then you'd say, okay, they know everything they need to know with Bailey, which I think is what they ended up saying.
Yeah. Or someone has already decided they're trading with the Jets, and they want Bailey.
Right.
So the Jets are like, it doesn't matter now.
Exactly. That's what my brain goes to, but who knows if they're getting Bailey. That might mean that Jeremiah Love just took a meeting with, the Vikings or the Texans, potentially.
Yep. Could be.
For sake of argument.
Yeah.
Number 2 overall, David Bailey.
Yep.
You had...
here's where we get interesting.
Okay, this is Kate Coy's mock draft.
So this is Kate Coy's mock draft. So I have got... The Cardinals have a lot of needs.
The Cardinals have a lot of needs.
The Cardinals right now have a coveted player still on the board.
Yep.
In Jeremiah Love. And that player is coveted by the Titans, who will almost assuredly take him at 4 if he's still on the board.
Yep.
Anybody that wants to get a every down back, breakaway speed, the ability to change a game, the ability to go out wide and catch passes, so a good all-around back. I mean, Thurman Thomas-like.
Right.
Got to go right here. And to me, I think that Kellen Moore with the Saints wants to come up there and get that bell cow running back that can set the pace for his whole team. And remember, when you can run the game, they've got a new defensive coordinator, so he's probably licking his chops for Arvell Reese or David Bailey there.
Right.
If they traded up
If they
there.
were to trade up.
But running back makes everything better. because it keeps your defense off the field,
Mm-hmm.
and it gives your whole young offense something to rely on.
And when you think about Kellen Moore, I love it. This makes sense, especially when you have the 6th pick, or was it 8th pick? I'm sorry.
They were 8. Yep.
Yeah, they were 8. When the Saints and Cardinals switch picks, they're already both at the top, so it's a very easy adjustment for the Cardinals if they're looking to build the line, I would think. There should be people there that they like. On top of that, Kellen Moore, when you think about his coaching history, Cowboys, he had Ezekiel Elliott, Tony Pollard. Chargers, he had Austin Eckler and whoever else was back there, maybe Melvin Gordon, but I think it was later than that. Whoever was with Austin Eckler. Then he got Saquon Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
Him pushing it, even though his offenses have been pretty pass-heavy and explosive, it would make sense that he's looking to pair Tyler Shook up with a dominant running back while they figure out what's happening to Kamara.
Yeah.
I don't know if any news has even come out about that.
Yeah.
Pardon me, Saints fans, if I don't know, but to my knowledge, we haven't heard any big news about him re-signing, moving, or declining.
Yeah, and we know he was struggling with injuries last year.
Yeah.
So that's starting to happen too. They did draft a back, and I can't think of his name offhand, but, again, like you said, when he was with the Cowboys, they had a variety of backs to go to.
Mm-hmm.
So I think here you want to have a stable full of quality backs.
It's true.
But you still got to have that one back who can change a game.
Yeah, and if anything, it's not crazy to think Alvin Kamara's probably only got so many years left at this point.
Yeah.
To put him behind to learn a year is not the craziest thing ever.
No.
Now, and, if you don't want to mess him up, that's not a bad way to go about it if you're selling this to whoever owns the Saints, too.
Yeah, and again, we're gonna go on to 4 and 5 here, but to me, if the Saints are looking to get Jeremiah Love, the Titans are likely to take him, and if they don't take him, the Giants are a big shot to take him at 5. So you've got to go get him at 3.
I would agree with that.
All right, let's go on to 4. That's the Titans.
Yep.
And we have Robert Saleh, his first year in Tennessee
With the bald head coaching staff.
Yep, and I'm just thinking Arvell Reese here is the answer because they want the guy with upside.
Mm-hmm.
They want the potential to have the explosive, maybe Micah Parsons kind of guy.
Yeah, think about any of those 49ers defenses that he coached there for a couple years and last year as well.
Yeah, so he would certainly be a great starting cornerstone piece for Robert Saleh's defense in Tennessee.
Yeah, you got to start somewhere. And I know they've added a great bit of pieces to that team as well.
Yeah. Enough said on that one.
Yeah, I would say so.
We go on down to 5. So the Giants now, from their trade with Cincinnati, right?
No.
Not this one. That's
Nope.
at 10.
Yep.
So here they are. And to me, I think Carnell Tate, the wide receiver, has kind of gotten poo-pooed a little bit.
Okay.
I think Carnell Tate, we know what Ohio State does in turning out wide receivers.
These are facts.
And the Giants already have a good one.
Mm-hmm.
They have Scatterbo there, and they've got Jackson Dart.
Malik Neighbors,
that's the guy.
Who was very hot before he got hurt. And was Zay Flowers an Ohio State wide receiver?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Was he Boston College maybe?
Probably. That sounds right.
Ignore me, listeners. I'm just
you're
going
fine.
through it in my head out loud. But yes.
So I think Carnell Tate here goes to the Giants and gives them another big play capability, which is wonderful. It's wonderful for the Giants.
That's interesting. I don't want to talk too much about alternatives because that's obviously then giving up the rest of the mock draft. But that's interesting. You feel like they would go Carnell Tate. Obviously, that's another great weapon to have on the offensive side of the ball to help out Malik Neighbors, evidently.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah.
Well, and we could talk about what are some other options, I guess, here, huh?
The only other thing I would think of in that moment is Caleb Downs.
Yep.
They did have some good pickups on defense. They added Tremaine Edmonds from the Bears, linebacker. Micah McFadden, also linebackers. That's why, notionally, I was wondering the likeliness of them to pick Caleb Downs in that position.
And that is actually who I had on my prior mock draft, so I could easily see that happening.
And it feels like it's going to be between the two. I had them either taking a safety or a wide receiver. I lean safety only because they already have a veteran safety there who had an off year last year but was pretty good until they picked him up. I think he was on the Dolphins. It was like Josh something.
Okay.
Sorry, Giants fans. But it would be a beautiful piece to complement that defense, potentially. But hey, we go off your mock drafts. I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Sure. No, and I agree with that alternate pick there too. So, and again, every time you change one thing, as you know,
it's a domino effect. That's why playing devil's advocate sucks in this moment because it's like the what ifs could start at 2.
And again, like we said, if the Cardinals don't trade out of 3, maybe they take Jeremiah Love. So, hard to say.
Yes, exactly.
So now we go on to the Browns at 6.
Yes, and let's keep it easy.
Yeah.
I'll let you say it. I don't know why I took that.
I think the Browns go offensive line. I think Shedeur Sanders needs all the help up front he can get.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he can be a very successful NFL quarterback.
Yes.
If he has time. And so I think the Browns here go with Francis Mauihoa, the offensive tackle from Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
And I think he becomes a cornerstone piece for that offensive line.
No, I agree. And not to mention, I threw in a little curveball here. Maybe the Rams trade in at this point to get Arvell Reese if he was available.
Yeah.
You have him to the Titans. My mock draft was a little bit more crazy.
Sure.
But we'll see who's available because I think the Browns have traded their first-round picks. I want to say it's been like 3 out of the last 5 years at least.
They've been pretty active.
Maybe 4 out of the last 5.
Yep.
And while maybe they haven't seen the immediate progress that they had hoped for, that defense has been unbelievable for the last 3-ish, 4-ish years to be for what it's worth.
Yep.
So if they feel like they've been doing something there, maybe that's worth something to look at. Also, though, without Stefanski there anymore and it being Todd Monken, I think, being the head coach, maybe we don't see that now because Stefanski's gone. That's my only hesitation making that point.
Yep, and I could certainly see the Browns spending both of these first-round picks on offense this go-around.
With how good the defense has been, for sure.
That's right. So we slide on to 7, the Washington Commanders. And to me, I see Caleb Downs going there. Caleb Downs can do a variety of things.
Yeah.
Again, he's coming from an excellent program. We know Ohio State turns out secondary players as well.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense. They go up against those great wide receivers in practice all the time. So
exactly.
You better be damn good to be playing in the secondary at Ohio State. And I think Washington gets a great pick. I think Caleb Downs is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
That's just my feeling about him. And I think for Washington fans, you should be really excited about that pickup.
Yes, and Dan Quinn, being a defensive guy, he'd be licking his chops not to go defense in that spot if Caleb Downs were to fall. And on top of that, having Terry McLaurin from Ohio State, that's only going to be that much more of an incentive to be like, well, he turned out pretty damn good.
Yeah, and again, like you said, Dan Quinn really likes those players that can kind of play those hybrid roles. Mm-hmm. And Caleb Downs can, big enough to play some linebacker in certain dime and nickel packages. And then Caleb Downs can kind of play that. He can also play safety as well. He's probably a nickel. So there's a whole variety of things he has the ability to do.
Being able to mix into a defense immediately like that's amazing. Yeah. And they've even said that he's been a pro for 5 years now in college. So I don't see him slipping past the Commanders in that instance.
At number 8, so this is the other side of the Cardinals-Saints trade I see.
Yes.
So we have the Cardinals here picking where the Saints originally were.
Yep.
And I think the Cardinals go back to one of the positions that used to be an area of strength for them back when they have, I don't know if they still have Patrick Peterson or not, the Honey Badger. They've had some great secondaries over the years.
Yes.
And I think the best corner available in the draft is Mansour Delane from LSU. And I think the Cardinals shore that secondary up right there at 8 with a without a doubt an All-Pro pick.
Yeah, new coach too. Thinking back to the Cardinal way, that's always a staple point for a coach that comes in trying to save an organization that hasn't performed well over the last few years. And I haven't seen any of his press conferences if he's even had any, but I'm sure this would be one of those staples to be like, we need to go back to what the Cardinals used to be, and that's probably a great defense. And I would not be surprised if that's who they end up going with.
Yep. At number 9, we have the Chiefs taking the offensive tackle that they like, Spencer Fano from Utah. And again, setting that offensive lineup to protect for the new running game, Kenneth Walker, and also the magician, Pat Mahomes.
Yeah, after you see Patrick Mahomes go down like he did last season, given that season wasn't anything the Chiefs were hoping it would be, you got to think about protecting the quarterback, giving some more running lanes to the Kenneth Walker, who would be at this point. And while it may not be something they desperately need, if it comes up to them in that spot, I don't see how they could pass it up. Other than particularly maybe going for a corner. And I would be curious to see if the Mansour Delane pick by the Cardinals, if in this trade world that this happens, prones them to immediately get the second corner. Or if the gap between those are so large. Because is it Jermod McCoy is the second looked at, or one of them? It's Jermod McCoy and maybe someone else, but
the other one was Chris Johnson and also Colton Hood.
Colton Hood.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so maybe the Cardinals taking a cornerback triggers the Chiefs to panic grab one before it gets too late if they hadn't any thought about getting back into the draft.
Yeah.
But just thinking about them losing Trent McDuffie and, I can't remember the other corner or safety they lost this offseason, but definitely a point of emphasis as well. But that offense did not perform up to par last season.
Yep.
I could definitely see them going offensive tackle.
Yeah, the reason I went here with offensive tackles, I thought the drop-off from offensive tackle 2 down to 3 into those was starting versus the flat line of the corners.
Right.
There were a lot more corners
You
who
can
were
kind of
pretty similar.
Okay.
But I think the offensive tackle talent drops off a little bit more sharply.
Makes sense.
So that's the reason for the Chiefs at 9 picking tackle.
Hell yeah.
10, the Giants are back on the board now with the Cincinnati pick.
The sexy Dexy.
And I think, again, John Harbaugh understands the importance of the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's got good young talent at quarterback and running back, as we just mentioned. And I think he goes inside an offensive guard from Penn State, Vega Iona. And I think that he's going to be there for a long time.
Yeah, no, I think this guy's going to be a beast. It makes total sense for the Giants to pick him in this spot because boarding anything else, that he should be there at 10, and that would make sense for them to go and grab him and just beef up that offense even more and make them even more of a threat than they were last season when they were a surprise to many people.
At 11, we have the Dolphins. And again, as we've said in previous podcasts, the Dolphins are desperately needing to add to the wide receiver core. They need offensive line help as well. But I think here, the talent of Mekhi Lemon, the receivers are still kind of in that upper echelon here.
Yep.
There's still some tackles on the board, and they get to pick again in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
So I think here they go with the best playmaker at receiver, and I think here it's Mekhi Lemon. I give him the nod a little bit over Jordan Tyson.
Okay.
Because Tyson probably has a little more upside, but he also has more injury history too.
Okay.
And so the
After
Dolphins
Tua?
need to find a reliable guy here. They've been through how many injury type things, so they're ready to go with the guy that is a little more dependable, maybe.
You know, that'd be an ownership comment because I think a lot of that front office has changed regardless. But I could definitely see that being in the building. Everyone's like, nope, injury trouble, nope. Let's go with not the safe pick, but maybe someone that's been a little bit more reliable on a game-to-game, week-to-week basis.
Yeah. I think here at 12, unbelievable. Sonny Styles drops all the way down here. The reason why I think that is just the alignment of best player available and what these teams need ahead of them lines up right. I think, again, linebacker, unless you are like a Lawrence Taylor type, I think Sonny Styles is a very solid player. The upside that, say, Arvell Reese has is probably not the upside that Sonny Styles has. I think all mock drafts have kind of shown that to an extent. But he's a very solid, going to be the quarterback of the defense, and he's going to be able to handle those situations, and he has that, what do I want to say, mentality to do that.
Leadership almost.
Yeah, leadership. And so I think that's how he gets all the way down here, is because, quite simply, the others are better players than him overall.
Right, and for what they need.
For what they need, too.
Yeah.
So.
And you know what, for what it's worth, if you can't tell already, he is a Cowboys fan. And I've seen both Sonny Styles go way higher, and I've seen Sonny Styles fall lower.
Yeah.
And it's a mock draft. You know, all these situations, they end differently. Maybe he goes in the top 5. Maybe he doesn't, and he drops to 12.
Yep.
It'll be a matter of, just seeing what happens. This is, if anything, should be a fun draft. It should be exciting.
We're all, we look off of one board, right?
Right.
32 teams, or however many are picking in this first round. It's less than that because there's 2 picks for many. But they all have a different board, right? And that's the thing that's hard to reconcile when you're doing mock drafts is the list. That's why every time I do a mock, I like to try to use a different list as the basis.
Yep.
Because it causes me to rethink some
certain players.
Order, players.
Why are they here?
Why am I putting him there? Exactly right.
And hell, why not?
So that's the fun of it, right?
Nice.
So we'll see if that comes true or not. But
on to 13.
On to 13. Jordan Tyson for the Rams, wide receiver, Arizona State.
Yeah.
again, the Rams have enough talent to take a little more risk with the upside here.
I would agree.
And so, and he's healthy, he can be a real game changer, I think.
Yeah.
And when you put him with the rest of the weapons that the Rams have, that would be pretty interesting. So I have Jordan Tyson going to the Rams at 13.
Yeah, and Puka's dealing with his life right now, understandably, and I think Puka was there most of the season last season. Davante Adams had a little bit of an injury problem or injury hiccup, if you will, throughout the season. One other thing I could see here, it's horrifying to think that Stafford could have Davante Adams, Puka, and Jordan Tyson all on his team. But I could also see them potentially reaching here for a tackle, knowing that Stafford, he's getting older.
Yep.
Last season we had the whole hip thing that ended up just not being true.
Right.
But regardless of if he's in the training camp or not, who cares?
Yep.
He is getting older. I would not be surprised if the Rams recognize that they can't afford to have him go out, especially if it's Jimmy G behind him. There was some news coming out about Jimmy G today, or just the fact that he's made like $153 million in his career, which is amazing for him. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them reach for a tackle either in this position.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. And I could definitely, in a prior mock, my second to this last mock was Monroe Freeling. So just to kind of give you the alt picks that I had here.
Yeah.
Monroe Freeling for the Rams, Jermod McCoy for the Cowboys, Spencer Fano for the Dolphins, and of course, Sonny Styles I had going at 10 to the Bengals, which could have been the Giants for all we care.
Yeah.
And then I had Reuben Bain going 9 to the Chiefs. So those are alt picks.
Yeah, there you
go. So anyway.
Yeah.
Press it on. So this is a little of a controversial pick for the Ravens.
Okay.
I don't know that I saw anybody having Reuben Bain Jr. going to the Ravens at 14.
I think a lot of people didn't have him slipping in the draft, potentially. Yeah. The Carr thing that resurfaced, who knows, but interesting.
So we'll see if that happens or not, but again, just based on how I ran the rest of this, he's here at 14. It's really not necessarily a need for the Ravens.
I would agree.
But I think this is a true BPA where they take the best player available.
Yeah.
And so they look at their board, they're like, holy crap, Bain's on there, we're going to take him.
Yeah, because if it wasn't Bain in this instance, you're looking at the Ravens looking for a wide receiver, but you've already lost Jordan Tyson and Carnell Tate at this point.
Yeah.
There's no real center at this spot. Guard, maybe, if you reached, but not really a reach, but maybe a little bit. Linebacker-wise, you're then looking at, I don't even know. At this point, you'd be looking almost at whoever's left, not Jacob Rodriguez, but whoever that might be.
Yep. I can see the Ravens doing a whole marketing thing on Bane from Batman, tying that into him.
Yeah,
we'll see how that goes. At 15, the Buccaneers select Keldrick Falk, edge from Auburn.
Okay.
I think he is one of the most unheralded players in the entire draft. And this is probably one of the highest I've seen him in a mock.
Yeah.
But I think the Buccaneers are looking for an edge, and I think Keldrick Falk provides that.
And kind of like what happened earlier in your mock draft, if Reuben Bain goes edge from Miami, obviously, Buccaneers might be inclined to be like, well, we don't want to be in a spot where all these edges start getting taken, given there's plenty of them. But they pull the trigger on Falk then, immediately afterwards.
A little bit of a run happens, and then there's a gap after that. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the last top-tier edge on the board, so that's why I think he might go there.
Okay.
The Jets at 16 go Omar Cooper Jr., wide receiver, Indiana. At 2, they take the edge, David Bailey, as we said. And I just think Omar Cooper is a great playmaker.
Yeah.
The Jets need playmakers. They put him with the Ohio State guy.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson.
Thank you.
Yep.
And away the Jets go. That's pretty good receiver tandem.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see what that Jets offense looks like next year with Justin Fields.
Yeah.
And just Braylon Allen, Breece Hall.
Yep.
You got those guys. It seems good on paper. I'm rooting for oh my God, the coach for the Jets. Lauren.
Cornerback, used to play cornerback. I can't think of his name.
I'll audio it in here in this spot. Oh my God.
Perfect.
That's terrible. You keep going. I'm gonna look it up.
At 17, the Lions, again, back to replenishing the offensive line. They go with Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle from Georgia.
Aaron Glenn.
There it is.
Yeah, I love that pick. The Lions, like the injury bug they've kind of had the last couple years. Every team has the injury bug. I think it's hilarious that it becomes a point. As a Chargers fan, I get that's ironic. Lions have had that trouble on the offensive line.
Yeah, they just have to shore it up. They have to take care of Jared Goff and the running game.
Yeah, exactly.
Gibbs and all that.
Yeah, and no David Montgomery, but it doesn't feel like that's a huge loss. It matters, but Jahmyr Gibbs was already doing a boatload of that anyway.
Vikings at 18. They need secondary help. You could say that they'd go safety, and that's how I've had that in prior mocks. But I think what they do here is they take the best secondary player on the board, and that's Jermon McCoy, cornerback from Tennessee.
Yeah, and I mean, we've preached it before. You put Brian Flores in a position to get a first-round defensive player. He's going to do the most with them. This makes complete sense to me.
Yeah. 19, we have the Panthers going with Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon.
So Buccaneers don't pull the trigger on Kenyon Sadiq with the edge run that happens.
Yep.
He falls to the Panthers. Panthers find themselves a great tight end to add to the team. I don't know how he compares to Greg Olsen, but you know what? Maybe that's what they can market it as. New age with Bryce Young and that whole thing.
There you go. At 20, we have the Cowboys taking the safety from Oregon, Dylan Thieneman.
Oh.
And the inside scoop on this, was that when Christian Parker came over from the Eagles as a new Dallas defensive coordinator, there's some connection on the defensive staff back to the Oregon staff.
Okay.
And so they got some inside scoop. Dylan Thieneman can play around the different positions, kind of like Caleb Downs. And so the Cowboys are in need of somebody like that in the secondary. In the safety position, they've got some older guys who probably all won't be back, and so they have to replenish that.
It's funny. Cowboys get Sonny Styles and Dylan Thieneman.
Yeah.
Funny how that works out in this mock draft.
We'll see, huh?
I'm just kidding. You should.
Christmas morning, huh?
Hey, you know what? It's a mock draft.
That's right. 21, we've got the Steelers going with the protection for Aaron Rodgers. The second guard goes off the board from Texas A&M, Chase Basantis. And I think that Aaron Rodgers is going to enjoy taking snaps behind that guy.
And let me tell you why I love you doing this, because I think it's been 2 years in a row, or twice in the last 3 years, that the Chargers have picked after the Steelers, or the Steelers have picked after the Chargers. And in the two instances I believe that it's happened where the Chargers pick after the Steelers get the linemen that I'm hoping the Chargers get. I think. I could be just thinking of one instance, but that's exactly how I think this would go, is that the Steelers would go with this guard that I'm looking at, with licking my lips from wherever we watch it from, and the Steelers take him. Yep. It'll be on the side of the screen. It'll say big board, best lineman left, knowing the Steelers want someone on the offensive line. His name's at the top. There he goes. But yes, it's a great pick. Obviously, we don't know if Aaron Rodgers is coming back officially yet or not.
Right.
But that's Aaron Rodgers. He'll probably announce he's back a week before week 1, and he'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah. In a previous mock draft, I did have Omar Cooper going to the Steelers at 21, but in this mock, he's gone before that. So.
Yep. I like it.
22, the Chargers. I have them selecting Caden McDaniel, the defensive tackle for Ohio State.
Yep.
And the guy can play inside. He's going to stop the run. He's going to give you a little pass rush pressure inside.
I like it.
And I think he can take on double teams. He would be a nice addition to the Jim Harbaugh defense.
Trenches, whether it's offense or defense, I'll chalk up last season's offensive miseries on the line to your two best offensive linemen being out for what felt like the entirety of the season. I would love for them to take another offensive lineman for the sake of watching Justin Herbert get mauled year after year. But if the defense can keep doing what the defense has done the last 2 years, obviously you lose, what's his name, to the Ravens to be a head coach, Jesse Minter. But I have faith that if they go trenches, life will be fine. I'm not worried about it. A wide receiver would be fun and frisky, but you already took a Marion Hampton. We took Quentin Johnson and Ladd McConkey. I have faith in Quentin Johnson if he shows up in the second half of the season. We got one good first half season out of him. They get to the second half of the season with him still, I'll be just as thrilled. And there's plenty of issues going on with that team last year where it just is what it is.
Yeah. 23, we have the Eagles taking offensive. I have the Eagles taking offensive tackle from Alabama, Caden Proctor.
Yeah.
Lane Johnson, I think he's still playing.
Yeah.
He had some injury time last year. They had some injury issues, I think, on both tackle spots during the season. And I think this is a great pickup for the Eagles. It solidifies the run game, solidifies Jalen Hurts.
It gives them a little bit more time. It just helps everything that seemed to be an issue with the Eagles on offense, aside from A.J. Brown.
Yeah, that's right. And we'll see what happens. There's a lot of rumors going around about A.J. Brown being
gone after June 1st.
Yeah, to the Patriots, right?
So I couldn't tell how official any of that stuff was. We have plenty of time to discuss it before then. But wouldn't it be crazy if the Eagles went with the wide receiver here, if that was pretty much everything but official? Because I think there's some sort of money cap hit, or there's something with the June 1st date specific that makes it a very viable option after. But
that's right. 24, the Browns. Here's where we have them taking a wide receiver, KC Concepcion.
Yep.
From receiver from Texas A&M.
I love it.
And so I think getting Shedeur Sanders some more playmakers is the way to go. They've got the offensive tackle. Now they get the receiver. And, again, the defense is great. They need things on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, without Jim Schwartz, that'll be interesting, too, since they passed over him on being a head coach. That's something to keep in mind with the Browns' upcoming season. I don't think it was all Jim Schwartz at this point, but, I think he was there when they basically turned around that defense, from what I can remember. Stat check me, there's a chance I'm completely wrong about that, but them beefing up the offense, going with another wide receiver, Jerry Jeudy didn't pan out quite how they wanted. I know they had a couple, they had a sample or something on, I can't remember. I'll just shut up. I like the pick.
You're fine. I'm just looking. At 25, the Bears, I have them taking Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, the safety from Toledo. I could also see them going with Zion Young, who they like, the edge from Missouri. But in this mock, it was the safety position they filled up, and so we'll see how that turns out.
Mm-hmm. Matt Guy, I like him.
26, we have the Bills taking a pass rusher. Akeem Mesidor is a little bit of an older rookie, as they say it, but along with Reuben Bain, the two of them were really good defenders, pass rushers together. So I see the Bills needing to get some pass rush help here.
Yeah, I mean, you just think about third down efficiency last season where they hoped Joey Bosa filled the hole and it didn't happen. I don't see them going anything other than edge in this instance, assuming who's available, of course, but the Bills need to figure out that third down efficiency.
I think your receiver, was something that they were also interested in here.
Yeah.
But I think we've had a pretty good run on receivers.
We have in this mock draft.
And there are some decent receivers. There are good receivers in the second round. So I think they go ahead and take the top edge rusher at this point because the drop-off is steeper than it is with receivers maybe after this point. So the Niners usually take a playmaker, usually take a receiver, something like that. Again, we've had a pretty good run on receivers in this mock. So in this case, I have them taking an offensive tackle, Caleb Lomu.
Yep.
And to me, again, it's about protecting Brock Purdy, protecting the running and passing game, and I think that's why they go O-line here.
Yeah, no, I think they do that. They obviously just re-signed Trent Williams officially, so congratulations to him on getting a bag. My only thing is, with Trent Williams officially back, do they go with that Max Ian Aker? Oh, yeah.
I
don't know how to pronounce his last name, I'm sorry.
They could.
In this spot, knowing that guy has not had much football experience, but is a beast.
Yeah.
And if he can learn behind Trent Williams, who they now have officially, could that upside be even higher than what most mock drafts currently would have him rated at?
Start him out at right tackle and then move him to left if something happens to Trent Williams. Right.
And with him, and that's the main focal point talking about that guy. I've loved him ever since we talked about it, I think, in the Senior Bowl potentially, is that they keep talking about how much of an upside he has and how much of a beast he already is, and if they can just work on his technique, he'll only develop better. And you know what? Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know. But I like him a lot.
Yep. Let's see. 28, we have Peter Woods, defensive tackle, Clemson, going to the Texans. I originally had them taking Cade McDonald in this spot, but the Chargers take that pick. So they go with the next best defensive tackle, Peter Woods. They need to shore up again, probably both lines.
Yeah.
In this case, they go D-line.
Heck yeah.
The Chiefs finally get their cornerback, San Diego State's Chris Johnson at 29.
Okay.
I have him a little bit higher than Avion Terrell and also Colton Hood. I think it's Colton. Or is it Cotton Hood?
I think it's Colton Hood.
Okay.
But I don't know that for sure.
Sure. But so I think Chris Johnson is above both of those guys a little bit. So that's why I have the Chiefs taking them here.
Yeah.
Somewhere in here, I could also see potentially one of these teams trading out with the Cardinals for them to come in and get Ty Simpson.
I would agree that at some point in the last 3 to 4 picks, you might see a team jump back in to grab a quarterback, whether that's the Jets somehow, whether that's the Cardinals somehow.
Yep. At 30, we have offensive tackle for the Dolphins, Blake Miller.
Okay.
Shoring up the O-line. They've already taken the receiver at 11.
Yeah.
So here they come back and, again, anchor down the trenches on the O-line, on the O side of the ball.
I don't think there's a spot they could go wrong, really.
30. The two teams that I don't think will trade out for someone coming in for Ty Simpson for whatever reason, I don't know why I feel this way. 31 and 32, I feel very strongly about.
Okay.
I think, for whatever reason, I think Mike Vrabel really likes Jacob Rodriguez, linebacker from Texas Tech. And I think it's kind of a Teddy Bruschi kind of thing.
Okay.
And I think this guy is smart. He is going to play that green dot role to where he kind of quarterbacks that defense. And I think the Patriots really like him.
Okay.
And so we'll see if that turns out or not. But I see the Patriots standing pat and taking Jacob Rodriguez at 31.
Love it.
Seattle, got to refill the running back room. Notre Dame running back Jadarian Price.
Yep.
You know, again, hard to believe that both first running backs are from Notre Dame.
Yep.
But Jadarian Price is a great back, too. Seattle needs to replace Kenneth Walker.
Yep.
And that's why I think I had them taking cornerback before.
Well, for what it's worth, unless they feel very strongly about another corner, I feel like you're going to see corner or running back here, depending on what the flavor of the week is.
Yeah.
Who falls, who doesn't fall. If they have one of these guys that were maybe marked a little higher that don't get taken in the first round, maybe Seattle goes, we can't skip this opportunity. Or potentially they go, you know what, let's keep the split carries with Zach Charbonnet with a rookie. And they end up going with, what's his name? Jadarian.
Which one?
The running back you had them taken.
Yeah, Jadarian Price.
Or maybe they go Jadarian Price.
Yeah. You know, and just to note, a couple players who most people have in their first round, but I don't, for whatever reason, just the way it fell out. But Avion Terrell, C.J. Allen, linebacker from Georgia.
Yep.
Denzel Boston from Washington, wide receiver. Colton Hood, quarterback from Tennessee. The way it shook out, I just didn't have them going in the first round.
Well, and that's the other thing is everyone's got a different big board for that first round, and we'll have to see who falls, who doesn't fall, and you know, someone always gets someone always gets someone to drop to them where you can't even think of it otherwise, and we go from there.
Yeah, two names I want to I've talked about Keldrick Falk being one of the unheralded players in the draft at edge from Auburn. And I don't know how to say this name, but the quarterback from Ohio State, Davison Igbinosun.
Sure.
Keep that guy on your radar because wherever he shows up, he's probably going to be a third-round pick, but I think he's going to be really good.
Okay.
And Landon Robinson, defensive tackle from Navy, he's odd in terms of his size at defensive tackle.
Okay.
But the guy has a motor like none other.
Just an absolute freak.
Absolute freak. Last one to keep an eye on. Trey Moore, edge from Texas. Probably going to go somewhere in the 5th round, 4th round.
Got it.
Keep those names in your mind because those three guys are going to be something for where they're picked.
Okay.
So, anyway.
Heck yeah.
Just
Love
a couple diamonds in the rough.
Why not? A little added bonus. And, you know, if you're betting on this stuff, bet what you can. There's different bets you can do out there right now. I do like the 2 quarterbacks taken in the first round, personally. That's a favorite. And FanDuel has offensive and defensive players right now you can bet on, so you can just split the field in 2 and over-under that amount of players taken in the first round. I got some good value on David Bailey early, going 2nd overall, and so I'm just sitting on that now. And nice. Carnell Tate was still not a favorite to go 5. Caleb Downs still was not a favorite to go 5. And frankly, you know, look at some of these positions, some of these teams. If you like something and you like to sports gamble, throw a couple bucks on it because there are some crazy odds. If you feel strongly, because I feel strongly about the 49ers potentially going with that Ian Acker guy, Ian Acker. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering his name. But, you know, he's not projected to go on the first round based off their odds. but if you sprinkle $3, you could win like 40. You know,
Wow,
it's just one of
nice.
those things where you can do it even by which what draft number they get, what overall pick they are picked at.
Okay.
So things to keep in mind. I didn't see any crazy specials, so other than the over/under for quarterbacks, which I could be dead wrong about, there's nothing too crazy going on with the draft. There might be some specials that come out tonight or Tuesday night, Wednesday night, going into Thursday morning, but you know, always fun to keep a look on if you're going to be watching the draft anyway. We'll both probably be sitting there with our mock drafts, just scratching out names and rewriting what we got wrong and stuff of that nature. But that, I believe, will do it this week for the Coy Pond. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the NFL draft. And
enjoy the draft.
Happy Surprise Podcast Wednesday.